Hello and welcome back. My name is Andrew Kallman. Today we're going to be talking about mindset number 3 profiles that we have out of the 18 profiles in the Guerilla Leadership series that I've been doing. The leadership takeaways today are profiles matter. Most of us have taken profile tests during our careers. And typically they focus on genetics or environment or both. Very few, if any, focus on choice. And then we're going to talk about why engagement matters more and how thinking like a fund manager will help you deal with some of the brutal facts we're going to talk about. Everyone knows that there's genetics and environment. We're all born with specific traits and DNA. And very few of us had almost any control over the environment in which we grew up in. And so I have genetics at the core, environment as the next ring out. But overall, we can still overcome genetics and environment through choice. There are so many examples of people overcoming both of those that we won't go into them here, but you just need to Google it and look at it there on YouTube, and you'll find a lot of inspirational videos about this topic. My main point is that these tests are only valid for about 30 seconds after you've taken it. People's personalities are not constant. They change throughout their lives. And if they have any traumatic event happen, like, for example, a nasty divorce or something like that, it can completely flip their personality profile. So these are only a very short-term guide. They should be treated as such, and to put a lot of confidence and faith in those probably isn't such a great idea, especially when we start looking at the next slide. So we have to confront the brutal facts, and that's basically that the optimists die first. So you need to quickly learn how to be pragmatic. So even if you have the right personality, then if that's the case, how come only 21% of the people are actually engaged in their work each day? The numbers are higher for the US, that's 33% there. And for Europe, it's 14%. What's interesting from this global survey, and the link is down there at the bottom left if you want to go look at the actual report, is that 33% of the people are thriving. So that means despite that they're disengaged, 12% are still thriving in their lives. So that means work isn't everything. What was really interesting in this report was that 40% experience daily worry, 44% daily stress, but this one really caught my attention. 21% have daily anger. That's an amazing statistic. 1 out of 5 of your team members is angry every day. And so those are brutal facts. If the personality profile fits the role, how come 80%, almost 80% of the people are disengaged, or worse, actively disengaged, where they're actually working against the vision, mission, purpose, goals, and objectives of an organization? And since your organization is made up of teams, products, and organizations, individuals are in every one of those. And so you need to be very pragmatic about this and keep that 21% number in mind as we talk about the next slide. A while back, many, many years ago, almost 2 decades now, one of my business mentors here in Scandinavia, he shared with me the technique he used when placing investments in businesses for the 5 billion euro venture capital fund that he was in charge of here in Europe. And we'll start over here. His idea was quite simple. For every 7 companies that he invested in, His expectations were as follows. One, just one, would be a star with a stellar return on investment. 3 or 4 would perform with decent return on investments, and 2 or 3 of those would underperform. They might be total dogs and fail and deliver little to no return on investment. And here's the clincher over here, down in the lower left here. The star's job was to pay for the other 6. Any return on investment delivered by the others, just extra icing on the cake, he chuckled. It's basically the law of averages. And so we talk about the law of averages and the flaw of averages. And 1 out of 7 is roughly what, 14%-ish that you need to have on your side in order to win. And so when you compare that to the 21% global average, we're probably doing okay. And if you've ever wondered how companies stay in business when it sometimes seems that it's just utter chaos and insanity every direction that you turn, this is why they can actually survive. So we were talking today about mindset number 3, profiles. They matter, but remember, they're only very short-term pictures in time that are valid only for a brief instant. And genetics matter, environment matters, choice matters more, but even more than that, engagement matters more. And to mitigate all this, think like a fund manager. By the way, we're going to have the first ever global Guerilla Leadership Gathering. It's going to be Saturday, 3rd of September. 3rd of December, sorry about that, 3:30 in the afternoon here in Finland. Have the rest of the times there on the screen. It's going to be on Zoom. The registration link is there at my website, andrewkallman.com. There's no charge. It's worth 7.5 PDUs if you're collecting those for PMI, or Scrum education units if you're collecting them for Scrum. All 18 mindsets will be taught by experienced coaches and trainers in a series of 15-minute lightning sessions with about 10 minutes of content and roughly 5 minutes Q&A, 5-minute pause in between each session, and about halfway through the day, depending on your time zone, we'll have a brief opening there for lunch or dinner, depending on your time zone. So look forward to seeing you there. Thanks again for stopping by. If you'd like a copy of this presentation or want to chat, reach out to me either via LinkedIn, my website, email. You can find me pretty easily these days. Have a good one.